This episode is brought to you by Pine Melon. This holiday season, let Pine Melon make your Christmas prep simple and stress-free. From fresh local ingredients to holiday staples like lamb racks and ham, they have everything you need to create a memorable feast. Avoid the holiday rush and enjoy the convenience of grocery delivery right to your door. Use code CityCastDenver to get $35 off your first order of $75 or more. Support local farmers and makers while making your holidays brighter with Pine Melon. Just go to pinemelon.com to make your grocery order today. That's pinemelon.com. This episode is brought to you by Meow Wolf. Bring your favorite humans to explore Acana, a festival of epic winter merriment at Meow Wolf Denver on select days in December. Explore this wonderland of art and exploration now at a discounted price. Get a 4-pack of regular admission tickets for 25% off. Just use code 4PACK at checkout when you purchase your tickets online. That's number 4, PACK, to get 25% off. Some blockout dates apply. Learn more at meowwolf.com. That's meowwolf.com.
Today on CityCast Denver, I gotta say, it was a pretty good year to be a Denverite who loves to eat. We got some killer new bagel places, a bar with $5 drinks, and a brand new Michelin star for that buzzy new Mexican spot near REI, Alma Fonda Fina. But at the same time, it was a year of inflation, and many old favorites shut down. So I've got two of my favorite returning guests with me today to look back at the year's most exciting openings, hottest trends, and best bites. Plus, we've got some predictions for 2025, too. Today is Wednesday, December 18th. I'm Paul Karolyi, and here's what Denver's talking about. All right, we're looking back at the year in food, and I've got a couple of my favorite people to talk to about Denver's food and dining scene. Westword food editor Molly Martin, welcome back.
Thank you.
And also joining us for this little year in review convo is, I have to say, the owner of the hottest take of the year for his takedown of the Michelin star winners at Bruto. Jake Browne, welcome back.
Thanks, Paul. It's great to be here.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this. This is a fun thing we get to do.
Absolutely.
So we broke this down into a bunch of categories. Let's just get right into it. Our first one, most exciting new bar or restaurant. Jake, you want to start us off?
I wasn't sure. This is a cause of much debate.
Okay.
I want to go with Chiquita. And I was shocked because it gives me hope for these like mixed use spaces where there's like residential above and a restaurant below. You would never imagine the kind of plates that are coming out of a restaurant that also has like, I don't know, 20-something that lives upstairs.
So this is a new place. This is like upscale Mexican, Mexico
Yes.
City inspired in Uptown. That's what you're talking about. It's that strip of Uptown that's kind of like 20 years old, and it's maybe
Yes.
just now
Owned
coming
by
into
the
its
same
own.
people who own Lucina in Park Hill and create cooking school at Stanley Marketplace.
Very cool. I didn't know that. Chiquita's on my list too.
What?
I went there. I loved it. It's not my one, but it's on my list. I had a really good meal there.
Yeah, I think I'm a happy hour aficionado, and there I think it's not only affordable, but like just the bang for the buck that you get. It feels so nice yet affordable. The opposite of what I thought about Bruto. Sorry, just got to get an elbow in where I can. And the staff is like so amazing. You know, we sit at the bar and the bartender's like, it's almost Christmas. How do you feel? And I'm like, wait, what? Like 2 minutes later, they're like, do you have pets? Like, what conversation is happening? I'm here for it.
You know what I'll shout out to that place is the glassware. That's what I remember. Great cocktails in very like cool glassware. That's always a nice
Literally
feature.
cool. We had like little chilled shot glasses and they're stemmed. Hello.
Well, you sent me a photo over the weekend as a hint of what you were going to, and I immediately knew what it was because I saw the tortilla and butter, which they start you with before a meal there. And I was like, that's Chiquita.
And I was so like, the idea of getting like a little like pat of butter with like all this char in it that's like super flavorful, and then like a hand pressed tortilla was such a unique way to start off a meal. Like I get little goosebumps.
Yeah, and you can see them making the tortillas from the bar while you're eating your tortilla. It's great.
Great spot. Very promising. Great pick. Molly, how about you?
Yeah,
Most exciting new bar restaurant.
I will have to shout out that we just put out our top 100 restaurants list, and there is a section in there that's new and noteworthy. Chiquita is among those on there. But I had the parameter on there that these places had to have opened by Labor Day this year. So I want to give a shout out to one that just opened. So it wouldn't have been on the new and noteworthy list because it opened in
So this is
last
brand
month.
spanking new.
Brand spanking new.
Hot off the presses.
It's also upscale Mexican and from a familiar name to people, but Mezcaleria Alma that opened next door to Alma Fondafina. And I think it would be easy to say like, oh, this is just like a bar offshoot or like a sister next door. It is not. It has a whole own identity of its own. The menu is completely different. Whereas Alma Fondafina is really inspired by Chef Johnny Curiel's like upbringing and like dishes, from his childhood and his reimagining of those. This one's inspired by Mexico City and like his more recent travels to Mexico City. And it's just like vibrant atmosphere, high energy. I just had so much fun there, and everything I ate, it just kept getting better and better and better. And then add on the cocktails, which are top notch and amazing mezcals. And I'm just real excited to have that around.
I got to get over there. I still haven't been to Alma Fondafina.
Yeah.
Is the only
I'm
person
excited
in
about
the
it.
town that doesn't like Alma Fondafina. This is really tough.
Me and Jake, we have talked about his Alma Fondafina feelings.
We might have to get into that at a later date. That's interesting. I've heard unanimous praise for that place, and same for Mezcaleria Alma.
Yeah.
What's it called? again?
Mezcaleria Alma.
Yeah. So my pick for this category is Chiquita. I was going to talk about Welton Street Cafe. I was going to talk about reopening. Hearth Bakery opened in the new old bicycle cafe space, which I still haven't been to, but I love Hearth Bakery, and that space I have very fond feelings for. My pick is Rich Spirit Bagels.
Yes,
Rich Spirit Bagels,
one.
the couple that owned Bakery 4. This was like the sourdough bagels, I guess, were a big hit there.
Yep.
So they opened their own bagel shop, and it's in that cool Gold's Marketplace in Wheat Ridge, which is very like nice strip now. But the bagels are like just fantastic.
What's your go-to?
Of bagels?
Yes.
Classic everything, plain cream cheese.
Do they charge extra for the everything?
No.
I don't think so.
They do
It's
not.
the same price?
Yeah.
Who's charging extra for? I mean, in Denver, who's not charging extra for something?
I did a full breakdown of bagel pricing when Odell's opened. If anyone's interested in the,
We'll put a link in the show notes.
specifics
We'll put a
of
link in the
it.
show notes. But yeah, Rich Spirit was just like, that might be the best bagel I've ever had. It made me so proud to be living here. We got fantastic bagels.
They're
now.
delicious. I agree.
great.
They're my favorite bagel now.
For cream cheese, is it like just a plain cream cheese, or do you have some options to church it up?
They do have options, but the thing about the cream cheese, they used to make it when they were selling them
Yes,
at
he's
Bakery
not making
4.
the cream cheese now. He's very particular about sourcing, and so he realized that making the cream cheese was not going to be cost effective for them. Nor could he really make as good a product as the best one he's able to source, which is what he's using. And then they do some mix in, so they have flavors. The flavors are made in house with the base cream cheese that is sourced.
Yeah, that's a great,
It's very good.
great bagel though. Let's move on. Let's keep going here. Next category is saddest closing of the year. Molly?
Okay, I'll go first. I had two. One was kind of like a sudden departure, which was Steve's Snappin' Dogs, and it also closed right after I moved into that neighborhood. So I particularly miss it because I often find myself now being like, God, I wish I could just walk up to Steve's. So that one was sad for me, but I also feel like it had such a really good run. The owner was basically ready to retire for various personal reasons, and they got a great kind of long goodbye. And so, mixed feelings on that. I miss it. But the one I think is just really heartbreaking is the downfall of biker gyms.
Yeah, we have to talk
and
about
the
it.
saga of
That
that.
was mine as
Bad
well.
year
Yeah.
for dogs.
Yeah, really.
But just the way it happened too, like him
Yeah.
making the bad business deal in the pandemic, and then the new owner kind of like running it into the ground,
Yep.
and then actually closing it just a few weeks ago and blaming
Yep.
homelessness in the neighborhood,
Yeah,
like
which is crazy.
all bad vibes.
On the
bad
upside,
vibes all the way
Jim
through.
himself, I know, is looking into has not lost the spark. Has done a couple pop-ups. I think has some more things possibly in the works for the new year. So I'm interested to see what he does.
Biker Gyms is mine as well. So sad. I wanted to also mention Meta Burger, just because like it seems like the whole like plant-based protein patty burger place trend, as we predicted, Molly, a few years ago, that was a fad.
Yeah.
Seems like it's going away. I was at Next Level Eatery down on Evans a few weeks ago. It looks bleak.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't think that's going to be there for long. Jake, saddest closing.
Maybe not a closing, but a relocation. Benny Blanco's.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was when I think about being like young and dumb in this city, it was my like refuge at 1:30 a.m. on this side of town, my brother's bar on the other side. But like it was a place where I would go with my then girlfriend, now wife, and we would like be out drinking, grab a large pizza at a reasonable price from like the Good Oven, and there's just something about going to a place where they kind of seemed like indifferent to you. Like I miss that kind of like, hey, listen, you guys are all rascals. It's too late for you to be this particular. Here's a pizza, go.
I have the same experience with that place and I miss it. I went to the new one. Molly, you must have been there. It's just a few blocks of where we're sitting right now.
Yeah.
And it has like two brands. I don't know what they're calling it, but you walk in.
It's Two Mamas and Mora's Pizza. So it's Jonathan Mora is doing both of them. Mora's is vegan,
That's
and then
what
Two
it is.
Mamas he says is more traditional New York style. They officially opened on Sunday. I haven't gotten over to try it yet, but there is pizza back there now.
Which is great. And the fact they have the window now into the bar next door, that was promising. That's like a very cool thing.
Yeah.
I didn't have a great time with the pizza.
No.
He's kind of doing the same thing Benny Blanco's did when you get a slice, where he'd heat up the slice and then put on the toppings afterwards, which is already not my favorite.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But I had pineapple and jalapeno, and the chunks of pineapple were just like enormous. It was like, he's got some kinks to work out, I'll say.
You got some kinks, it sounds like. I got pineapple jalapeno.
Pineapple jalapeno
Hey, there is
rocks.
nothing wrong with I agree. I had a pineapple jalapeno cream cheese last week.
Hey, there you go. Nothing wrong with
So it
that.
looks
Jake
like
looks
I'm the
horrified.
one who's wrong.
Nothing wrong with that.
Listeners, weigh in.
Okay, yeah, let's move on. Hottest trend. This was the category I had the most fun with. Hottest trend of the year. Shall I start? I've got a few
Yes,
to talk
you
about.
do it,
Who are
Paul.
yours?
Hey, thanks for asking. Espresso martinis.
Yeah.
I both felt it this year. I saw them on a lot of menus, but then I was watching Fox 31 in the morning on the treadmill, and they told me that Grubhub's year in review said that the espresso martini was particularly popular in Denver as a to-go item.
I don't understand what
Which I thought was
I was
so
like, I don't
interesting.
understand what Grubhub is doing with
So interesting.
martinis.
Listen, if there were espresso martinis via Grubhub,
Yeah.
I'm sure they sold well.
They are everywhere. I mean, Welton Room basically is like kind of all espresso martinis
that's
at this
cool.
for many variations of them.
Huh.
They're them and a few other places are doing flights of espresso martinis.
It's truly that thing where like everything comes back. It's like, what are Jaeger bombs the big thing for 2025? What are we doing?
Maybe.
Throw it in reverse.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, exactly.
The other one I want to talk about was alcoholic slushies. I saw a lot.
Okay.
At the brewer, Odell's and Rhino had those. Mr. Oso had some good ones there. But the biggest one I thought is like, it's not a good one, but the $20 burger.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
value conversation. This was the year where I feel like restaurateurs were complaining they couldn't make affordable, cheap, good food anymore. And then you heard it from diners too. Like everything's too expensive. And the $20 burger, I think, epitomized that.
Yeah. It's hard to argue with that one. But it doesn't make us happy.
No, it's horrible. It's just, it's terrible.
not spark joy.
we're all silent in mourning.
I'm just trying to think about like when last time I had a $20 burger was.
How about you, Jake? What's your hottest trend?
I think it was just opening 50 restaurants. Like it seemed like anybody had like a little bit of success and they were like, all right, let's just get as many things out there as possible. Pop-ups, I'm going to be working over here. Like it seems like the days of like just having like a concept that works and really pouring yourself into it is so difficult now because the mortality rate for restaurants is so high right now.
Yeah.
Like it rivals like an elementary school gerbil. So you're just like, all right, let's put as many gerbils out here running around. We'll see which one's still here after Christmas break. Like, yeah.
So just like the restaurateur that opens one to some success and then
and then it's
And then
just
like
expands.
nuts.
right.
Yeah.
Then it's
Yeah.
just like, I'm on fire right now. Let's not wait and see if this sticks.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good pick.
I'll play off yours a little. I have a different one, but just to play off what you said a little bit,
Please.
the pop-ups and the like collabs and that really all started in 2020 when people were trying to creatively find ways to still kind of have community, but they've kept up. I wouldn't call it necessarily a new trend as of this year, but they continue to happen and They're pretty interesting. So.
Yeah, I was going to say it's really distilled. Like it's way better, like marketed. The planning's a lot better.
Yeah,
I think we're just getting to like final form Pokemon level of like they're executing at a high level now. Whereas sometimes you'd be like, okay, it's a collab, but it's not going to feel like terribly disjointed or like why is everything cold or something exploded. Right. And now it feels like there's less of that. And it's more like
you've got
good vision.
Some people operating like only as a pop up, like Justin Freeman and Monarch is an interesting one to me as he's looking for a space. He's like building his brand via pop-ups. And then you've got like Manny Barea, who was just on Top Chef, is doing like a soup night with Carrie Baird at Fox and Then. Like just kind of these fun ways to like eat food you wouldn't normally get to.
Oh yeah, I've got my chili delivery service.
I think Manny's doing one with Michael Diaz de Leon, formerly of Bruto as well.
Yeah.
I've been following him on Instagram.
Yeah,
His
Michael's pop-up series.
Slick. Very slick.
And then I also just had to mention dumplings. So many dumpling places
Huge
that
trend.
have opened, and just really like kind of the way the Asian food scene in general is thriving and expanding right now is, I think, really cool. Beyond, it's always been go to Aurora, go to Federal, but they're popping up in suburbs all over the place, right in the middle of downtown. Like it's a cool thing to see. So we're just swimming in dumplings now, and that's a good thing.
It was big year for dumplings. I mean, Yuan Wonton's opening, I think, was earlier this year. That was a big one. Interesting. That's another good pick.
This episode is brought to you by Denver Health. Denver Health wants you to think about something very important: life-saving mammograms. Breast cancer can affect anyone, but the good news is that with early detection, it can be caught and removed early. That's why getting regular mammograms is so critical. The breast care team at Denver Health is committed to helping catch breast cancer early when treatment is most effective. A mammogram is quick, non-invasive, and can make all the difference. If you're 40 or older or have a family history of breast cancer, don't wait. Early detection saves lives. Take control of your health. Visit denverhealth.org/mammogram to schedule your appointment. That's denverhealth.org/mammogram. This episode is brought to you by the University of Denver. The University of Denver wants to congratulate their own men's soccer team for a great season. This year, the team made it past the quarterfinals for only the second time in program history. The team exemplifies all the qualities that make DU different, and the university recognizes all the hard work, dedication, and sacrifice. DU prioritizes academics as well as championship athletics, and the school's 4D experience fosters greatness in student athletes. The school is proud to be Denver's home for college sports. Learn more about DU athletics at denverpioneers.com. That's denverpioneers.com.
All right, another fun category: your personal best bite of the year. I found this
what about
huge.
Paul, kick us off.
Sure, okay, yeah. I mean, I have a few I wanted to talk about. The ice cream sandwich I had at Right Cream was fantastic.
Love Right Cream.
This is the year I went to US Thai in Edgewater for the first time.
Nice.
And it was like kind of like a bleak night. Like just me and a friend were like having kind of a weird night, and then we went and got US Thai and was like, wow, what a great restaurant. I'm so glad we're here. Green
Have they
curry.
turned around the kitchen? Like, wasn't the knock on them for a while that they just kept getting health code violations?
Yes.
Like,
what?
code violation after code violation?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I didn't know that.
They also almost closed this year and then must have worked something out with their landlord.
Folks, get over to US
There was
Thai.
a scare.
It was a tough, like that block. Providence was almost on my list of like tough closings for this year.
Yeah.
That was, a block away.
Yeah.
The best wings in the city for a while.
Yeah.
Red Top's Rendezvous was another
Yep.
one on that strip that
Yep.
closed indefinitely.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
That
Sorry.
construction.
Yeah.
It was one of
Really
those
cut
ones
them
that
off.
Culinary Creative had that explosion of openings like you're talking about
Yeah.
now, and then there was a little
And
contraction.
then the culling.
Breakfast pizza at Get Right's was huge. Can't wait for their whole pizza menu to come on. But my personal best bite, and I'm not a dessert guy, was the Hong Kong French toast at Ginger Pig.
Oh, yeah.
Ginger
That's a
Pig.
good one,
Went
too.
there for the first time this year, had such a good time, went back like 2 weeks later. They have this Hong Kong French toast on the appetizers menu and the desserts menu. When I saw that, I thought it was dumb. But you should do it for both. You should get it for both.
Start ending.
That's a tip from your friendly neighborhood podcaster. Molly, how about you? Best bite of the year.
Those are good. Oh, those are all good ones you just said. And also Get Rights. It wasn't this year that I had it the first time, but the Camembert from Get Rights is just, I think about it all the time.
They're pros. That's a great spot.
But the ones I wrote down, one from Jake's pick for the most exciting opening, Chiquita, the duck taco over there was one of the first things I had. I've had it twice now since then, and they've kind of continued to tweak it and improve it. And,
that's a great restaurant. People are not talking about it enough.
It's awesome. I was thinking about pizza for you, Paul. And I gotta say, Little Arthur's, the pizza at Little Arthur's, and honestly everything I had at Little Arthur's, like the pile of cheese on the salads makes me so happy. I don't know if other people get as excited about salads as I do, but
I get excited about piles of cheese on most things. So,
but the pizza was really impressive. To me, that was the best pizza I have had in a long time.
I had such a good time there.
Yeah.
The giant $40 pizza.
Yeah.
Although my one friend who's like a backyard pizza whiz, who's been doing these like backyard pizza parties, his name's Chris.
hey, Chris.
So he went to Little Arthur's, and I was really excited for his opinion. He had a bad time. He said
Really?
it was overbaked. The one he got, he said it was a little too crispy.
You get one backyard oven, and all of a sudden.
The other one I wanted to mention is K-Town Fried Chicken at Hey Kiddo. I think people think of Hey Kiddo as one of the IDEST hospitality groups. So Bruto is a sister restaurant. Wolf's Taylor, Michelin star, the Michelin star tasting menu places. And I think maybe some people might think that it's kind of unattainable, like for those kind of tasting menu prices. But Hey Kiddo, you can pop in. The first time I had it, I was just kind of bar hopping on Tennyson, wanted a snack, popped up, sat at the bar, got the popcorn chicken size because they have several sizes you can pick from, had that and a drink at the bar under $20. Like,
dang.
It's a great way to kind of experience that place and like what people are so excited about when they're talking about that group without having to drop a lot of money. And it's just real tasty fried chicken.
Where is it again? Where's Hey Kiddo?
It's on Tennyson. I forget the name of the building, but it's on the 3rd floor.
It's the opposite of the mixed use residential. They
Yeah,
went to
they're
the
on
top,
the
instead of the bottom floor.
And I gotta say, I also just went to their holiday pop-up, and I avoid holiday pop-ups. Like, I don't usually go to them, but they're doing the rooftop area as a hot toddy bar, and you can get like hot buttered whatever you want, or hot toddy with whatever spirit you want, and that was pretty magical, I have to say.
Dang. That's a good pick. I like that. All right, Jake, your best bite of the year.
I'm going to focus on something that I do feel like is super accessible and also chicken, MacFam. The happy hour wings.
Yes.
Whatever the little condiment is that is on top of there just gives me like the perfect amount of spice, a ton of flavor, and I don't like a traditional like buffalo wing. I am anti-soggy wing. I need crisp. I want people to hear me eat chicken. And there, you can't quietly enjoy a wing.
Yeah. I think worth noting also that the same seasoning, that like Szechuan seasoning that's on the wings, they have the mozzarella sticks with the same.
Which I really
seasoning on
enjoyed
happy hour.
too.
Yeah.
Ooh, good tip. All right, is it time for our predictions for 2025?
Ooh.
I struggled with this because I wanted to say like, oh, the whole affordability conversation. We're going to have a fix. Mayor Mike is on it. Last time he was on our show, I asked him about this, and he was like, I'm really interested in doing something about
I've heard
this.
there's things in progress.
I've talked to a lot of people.
Substantial, so we'll see.
I know a lot of people. They're the smart people. They're doing the math, and there might be something about at the state. But I just don't know.
I hope so, but I'll kick off my predictions by saying it's not a fun one, but I think while that's still going on, particularly the minimum wage piece, I think we're going to see a lot of things close in the next few months. We always see a lot of things close, but I think there are going to be some surprises, some established places that you maybe are not worried about and should be. And then in that, as we see those places moving out, I think we're going to continue to see these out-of-state based groups expand to Denver, which I think is a good and bad thing. I think the fact that they see Denver market as, one that's appealing to them is good, but when they're pushing out and essentially not leaving space for local operators who can't afford to operate in the city for various reasons now, that gets sad.
Yeah. Bit of a double-edged sword. I mean, some of those things are exciting. Like I saw Portillo's is looking at a second location down in Littleton.
I really enjoyed Church and Union as an out-of-state group. I enjoyed Church and Union on my first visit there. There's been, I said this in several stories, but like not all chains are created equal. I think the word chain is kind of a dirty word, and I don't think they all quite fit. I think some of them really do come to Denver for good reasons, and they really want to add to the city's culinary scene and not just drop in something without knowing what they're getting into here.
Totally. Like, I think about Uchi as like, wow, there's like 7 locations. Like,
Yeah.
it felt like such like a like homegrown story. And it's like, no, like this is really, we're past the era of like cheesecake factories where it's like anything that's corporate is inherently kind of bad.
Yeah.
And them being able to operate with these economies of scale mean that it's just going to be harder and harder for kind of local, more established restaurants to keep up, I think.
Yep. I agree.
Great point, Molly.
Yeah, that's a good prediction. Jake, you going?
I think it's going to be a big year for chili delivery. No,
Explain yourself. What are you talking about?
No, seriously. I expect more of kind of these like unregulated gray market kind of like Instagram pop-ups. Hey, like my Uber driver the other night was like, if you want the best Indian food in this city, my cousin will bring you plates. Like whenever. I was like, yes, very excited.
Yeah.
You know, like just the idea that food doesn't have to necessarily be in restaurants anymore, and like I can trust somebody that's like just like has you know a WhatsApp and it's like, I'm gonna bring you something, and like or you're like, you show up with a bowl or like your own container, and they're like, and there you go, and it's 20.
There is a lot of that happening, and it's funny because I'll get reached out to from people who are doing that, or people who have found someone doing that they really like, or a writer wants to write, and I'm like, you know, if we write about this, there's high likelihood you get shut down because it's completely illegal. So, like, quietly keep doing what you're doing.
Interesting. This dovetails with something I was thinking about for the future, which is Polis and his love of raw milk and his like obsequious attitude towards RFK Jr.'s new Health and Human Services.
Yeah.
Every word in this sentence.
I mean, but this is it's kind of parallel with this whole unregulated like food world. I think it's kind of a friendly environment here for this kind of thing.
When I think that when we look at the impacts that especially like labor is having, I feel like restaurants no longer have this massive advantage of being able to work with the big distributors like Cisco to like really slam down their prices. I think people can be much more competitive, especially when they're kind of not valuing their own time like they probably should be. And maybe that launches them into a place. I think that the predecessor to this was the food truck boom.
Yeah.
But I think that now people are like, I don't want a truck. I don't want to have to figure out where I'm going to park this. All the licensing, like, I'm just going to kind of do this on the low until I get shut down. And then, you know, you kind of move to your next account or whatever.
That's exciting. I mean, that stuff's fun. Trendy. Okay, here's mine. Mine kind of comes from this article I read in the New York Times a few weeks ago about Ozempic and the rise of these GLP-1 drugs. And there was a quote that I can't stop thinking about this. It was about how like junk food companies are reacting to this trend and like how they're strategizing what kind of products might appeal to this very fast growing segment of the market. It says that by 2035, the number of US users of these GLP-1 drugs could expand to 24 million, which is double the number of vegetarians and vegans in the United States right now.
Wow.
So that's a huge market. I mean, we've seen all these like vegan restaurants open up, and that appeals to more than just vegans. So I think like maybe this is wishful thinking, but I feel like this is the year Denver gets a great salad place.
I would love a good salad place.
Right?
I've already mentioned my passion for salad.
I mean, when Sweet Green came to Denver, I was so excited, and then it turned out to like they overexpanded and it wasn't good, and it's still not good. But
aren't like salad bars the biggest transmitter, or like whenever there's like an E. coli outbreak?
Maybe.
I feel like.
I mean, McDonald's is still doing whatever they want.
Fair. I just worry
Let
that
us have the salad bar.
when we move to like deregulation, that I worry the salad bars are going to be affected the most.
maybe that's a prediction. You know, more E. coli outbreaks. That's what we're all kind of coming to here.
It could though.
Wash your salads, people.
Well, Jake Browne, Molly Martin, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. If you enjoyed the show, why not take a minute to tell whoever makes the Hong Kong French toast at the Ginger Pig about me? Rate the show wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe to our morning newsletter, Hey Denver, and learn more about us at denver.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. See you then. Who should we tell? We could tell Biker Jim. Hey, Biker Jim. Sorry about what happened to you. Miss you. Love you.